Okay, so this is the Aj-theist, and I am back again, checking out some of these ridiculous questions. Maybe answering it and throwing in my opinion on a couple of them. As I said, I usually hang out in social sciences or society and culture. Let's see what's going on in society and culture, which has a large populace of. Let's go religious. Yeah, let's go religion today. This is pretty cool. Oh, man. Hmm. The first question is a really weird question, which has 88 answers. Is do atheists believe in evolution? How interesting. That's that's just low hanging fruit. I'm not even gonna do it. How are atheists moral without God? Okay, eating it up. Here we go. J- Okay, I don't know if you guys know why I'm laughing. Of course, if you've seen my video before, that I tend to see this person a lot in Yahoo Answer, and he usually has a completely ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. He just has some ridiculous questions and answers. But let's read this out for a second. Okay, Jeffrey Dahmer said he was an atheist until he was caught, and then he converted to Christianity. He said, "quote If a person doesn't think there is a God to be accountable to, then what's the point of trying to modify your behavior to keep it within acceptable ranges?" I'm gonna say this on this stupid comment. All right, all right, all right. Normal people do not want to hurt other people. They don't. Normal people do not want to see other people hurt. They don't want to see it, they don't want to do it, and they don't want to commit it. Normal people don't want this. When you live in a society filled with people, if you have people killing each other, that society doesn't work. If you have people killing each other and demeaning each other constantly, that's why we have a police force. That's why we all feel safe. That's why we all try our best to get along with each other, because our society would fall apart. The simple fact of the matter is, when we look at a major city, we have these people who all live together. They could not survive if it was like freaking, if it was the freaking wasteland. It would not work, because their power comes from people working hard to bring it to them, and they work to buy those resources, and those resources are what keeps them alive. Because I want you to actually think, in any metropolitan city, how much food is there to feed everyone that does not come from outside sources? And the answer is almost none. The simple fact, we could not build large cities if we did not have morals. And these morals, of course, come from us being together and wanting to protect each other and wanting to be safe. Now, are there some people who want to hurt each other? Yes, there are, and we do take steps to protect other people from them. Now, let's get with your "you need God to be accountable." Atrocities still have actually been committed even when people have had a God. I want you to look at the Crusades, look at all the torture methods that happened when Catholicism was at its perfect, at its prime. Look at all the atrocities that have been committed by the Muslims, and they have all been justified as God says it is okay for them to do it. Morality does not come from God. Morality comes from human beings not wanting to hurt each other and wanting to be together and wanting to do better and protect each other and defend each other. That's where morality comes from. Morality comes from empathy. Morality comes from a need for human survival. Morality comes from our species having the ability of empathy. But you think your morality comes wherever you are. Maybe you are like Jeffrey Dahmer, my friend, and maybe you do need somebody to tell you that this is not okay. Maybe the only reason you don't go out and kill 50 people right now is because God said you can't do it. Well, my friend, you would be the bad person in that scenario. You in no way would be good, because you're the monster. Because you don't know any better, and that you have to worry about being punished not to do horrible things. But tell you what, if you go do out and do that, and you do survive the encounter with the police, you will be held accountable for your doings. for your dealings. What you did, you will be held accountable for. So I don't see exactly how Jeffrey Dahmer claims he had no accountability when he's sitting in prison on charges for what he did now. How is there no accountability? How was he not held accountable for what he did? Perhaps Jeffrey Dahmer is just a blatant idiot, and perhaps you are for believing him. All right, here we go with another question. As the top two questions in religion and spirituality were from the same person. This one says, atheist, you know if you reject God, you're going to hell, right? I'm not going to even, because everybody makes mistakes, and especially when it comes to spelling and grammar, so I'm not even going to harp on the fact that right's spelled wrong. That's not important. But here's what we got. We got a beautiful argument. Hey, if you reject God, you're going to hell. Well, which one do we accept? Do we accept Yahweh, Ra, Amun, Brahma, Vishnu, Zeus, Apollo, Thor, Odin? Shall we go on and on? The list goes on and on. For what reason do you think that your God is the right one? And tell you what, I'm going to say this, and I don't care whatever someone says against me about this. I truly don't care. I know what I have now is more important. I have family I want to protect. I have people who I want to make sure they learn and better their lives, and I don't want people like you controlling them. Which we've seen time and time in history will happen if you get your way. So, if I am going to hell, that is, I don't care. It's not important to me. Everything I love and everything I give a damn about is here. I don't need eternity. And I also don't see any evidence of your God. But, like I said, speaking under the hypothetical that he was real, which he isn't, I don't care. I don't. I also want to point out that this lady right here has a pretty funny comment. Miss Yvonne does not appreciate bad grammar. 14% best answer. That's a good rating, lady. I give my hat off. I take my hat off to Miss Yvonne. Okay, I just found this question right here, which is, I always find it how interesting how this is Yahoo Answer, where people are supposed to, answer questions looking for an answer, but then you often get these people who post questions and then repeatedly answer them. I guess because they just need to vent out their hysterical bullshit. Is Bruce Jenner going to hell for being gay and changing his gender to being a woman? Basically, not a tranny. What a disgusting world we are living in as we speak. I find this interesting because for being gay is one thing. Bruce Jenner had a wife and children, and hey, he did that and it wasn't what he wanted. And then changing his gender to a woman. I'm actually gonna throw this out here. I want someone to tell me where in the Bible it says you cannot change your gender. I want to know a Bible verse that says that shouldn't be done. I do. So if somebody knows of one, point it out, throw it to me, and so I can read it. I want to know about that. Basically a tranny. Okay, that's weird in that sense. I'm not gonna bother answering this question, but what I'm going to say is somewhat of a public service announcement. If you feel you are unhappy with your life, if you feel that if you don't have the ability to be yourself and look for happiness in whatever form you want to do it, I have nothing but support for you so long as you aren't hurting anyone. so long as you aren't hurting anyone. Your happiness is far more important than someone else judging you. Your happiness is far more important than these people's bullshit. Find happiness for yourself and go with that. I don't care what that is. As long as you don't hurt anyone, I don't care. Find that happiness for yourself because you deserve to be happy just like every other human being on this planet deserves to be happy. Find that happiness. You are okay and there's nothing wrong with you. Just find happiness for yourself wherever you need to find it. Okay, guys, as I got stuff to do, this is probably going to be the very last. This is the last question I'm going to answer today. And I see this question that says, why do men frequently have sex with women they don't find attractive? I have had sex and have dated a lot of men. They almost always seem open to having sex with me, whether they even like me or not. I am not a physically attractive woman. I am chubby. I have bad skin. Many men who are open to having sex with me, or even calling me their girlfriend, have made negative comments about me even before continuing to have sex with me. My boyfriend admits he can get hard over really unattractive women's naked bodies and the thought of sex with them simply because that's how he is programmed. He doesn't even have to like the way a woman looks to obtain an erection and have sex with her. He said that there's just has to be an opportunity there for him. He said a woman that is visually appealing is a bonus. My boyfriend is not bad looking. He's a little on the short side. He wears glasses. Yeah, I know, I need to plug up my laptop. Blah, blah, blah. And he is Asian. Do most men think like this? Are men just desperate creatures that are addicted to sex and will do it with almost anyone? P.S. This isn't a question about my relationship. Me and my boyfriend live together and expecting a baby together. So I am not worried about him or anything. I am just questioning about men in general. My friend, this is an interesting question. Generalizing, by the way, I do want to point out that generalizing any group or especially when it comes to gender or race is really closed-minded. But all men are not like this. All men do not find it capable. All men cannot do this. But let me point out something to you. And as I noticed, a rapper said this, and I completely agreed with it. He said, women don't care about being attractive. Women just want to be wanted. And I'd say that goes to the same for a lot of people, a lot of men. It's not about being attractive. It's just about being wanted. So when someone who says, hey, I want you, and if you want to be wanted that bad, then you'll go for it. Even then, he claims he doesn't find these women attractive, yet still manage to obtain an erection. I would honestly tell him that in some way he does find these women attractive, but it's just not everything about them he finds attractive. It's something that he finds attractive or enticing, and hence is the response that would happen. You're assuming that because the entire package of these women is what he would consider unappealing or unappealing doesn't mean they don't have redeeming features. I would suggest that instead of seeing this, and I'm really going to point this out, you really need to have a little bit more respect about yourself. Because, for example, me personally, I can see a woman physically and find her attractive. But if she says too many stupid things, I'm no longer attracted to her. I find stupidity very unappealing. And it's just how I am. Everybody in the human race is different in some way, shape, or form. We may have large numbers of similarities. We may have a lot of ideas in common, but there's always going to be something different about us, and we need to accept that. While some people can find certain things appealing, others might not. While some people may not have everything you want, you might see a redeeming quality in them, and you might find that quality attractive. In my opinion, genetics plays a large part in how we choose sexual partners. And I might be wrong about this, and if anybody else thinks I am or finds any proof or evidence that I'm wrong, please point it out so I can grow, and we can all grow as a community, and we can grow a little bit better. In my opinion, the reason he can do this is he finds something redeemable about them, a redeemable quality that he finds interesting, or maybe he's just maybe he's just programmed to be this way, like he says. But as for me, like I said, it's not just attractiveness that plays a part. Who that person is can definitely be an off-putting feature about them, and it'll lead me to walk away completely. But I will say this: this question here does have some traces of low self-esteem. Maybe you should just, ask yourself: do you find yourself redeeming? Do you find yourself attractive at all? Or maybe ask him, what about you? Because I would say you should definitely stop saying dating people who have negative comments about you, and you definitely shouldn't keep sleeping with them. Have a little bit more respect for yourself, maybe. Okay, I know I said the last question was probably going to be the last one I took a stab at, but I found another question from the person I am going to forever rename as the repetitive dumbass. Just go ahead and call him out as just call him the repetitive dumbass from now on. Okay, why did we start believing that LGBT people should have the same rights as normal heterosexual people? I'm all for people not being treated poorly and having the same rights as everyone, despite the way they are born. That being said, no one is born LGBT. It is a sinful choice that they make in their life, despite the lies they tell to make it sound like they had no choice in the matter. There's a video on there's a video of a young man who decided to come out to his parents. Needless to say, it didn't go well. That's the reason why the video, I guess, I even made it to me. Well, at one point, his mother says, "I've known since you were a little boy that you were gay." And then she completely does a 180 and turns around and starts saying, "No, you made a choice, and you made this choice, and blah blah blah." And she even ends up him and what sounds like him and her and another woman actually assaulting the boy. And here's what I find so stupid about this: how could you have thought that he was gay when he was a small boy before he even knew? And yet still claim he made the choice to be this way. You know what? I will give you this. Their choice is being happy. Their choice is just finding out that they want something and then going for it. That's their choice. But the choice of whether they are attracted to these people or attracted to people of the same sex or wanting to be it's not a choice. There's no choice in who you are attracted to and who you are not attracted to. You are the way you are. And for you to not be one of these people and claim you know for a fact they made a choice is somewhat ignorant. But what makes you think that someone who makes a life choice suddenly doesn't deserve rights? Suddenly doesn't deserve human rights? Suddenly doesn't deserve inalienable rights? What makes you think that your personal objection to what they did that you have the power to take their rights away? It just amazes me that people even think like this. What makes you think you should have the power to affect someone's life this way? Now, I'm going to say this. Western world has had some no, not even the Western world. Mostly the Western world and some of the Middle East. I would say mainly monotheistic religions that have this problem. And I'm sure there are probably some polytheistic religions that have this problem too. But for some reason, they just say, "Hey, this is wrong, we don't like it, and you can't do it anymore." And we have this, and because of this, mainly stemming from the Bible, as I have the most research of the Bible and the most research of history and European history and American history. Because of that hatred, it stemmed literal psychologists to claim that this was a mental disorder and that these people were just different. And I'm sorry, and because of this skewed kind of reasoning, it even affects science. Because you go into an assumption and you go into a study with this false bullcrap that you've been spewed, and you suddenly think that the world's going to conform to what you believe. You don't have the right to take anyone's rights away. That is not one of your rights, and it's not one of theirs. What do you mean? Why did we start believing that they should have the same rights as normal heterosexual people? About the same time we realized that everyone should have the same rights. Fucking bigots. Okay, guys, this is the Aj-theist, and as you can see, I don't have many Twitter followers, but and I'd appreciate it if you guys came, followed. I'll probably follow you back just to kind of see what goes on between everybody who I'm talking to, and just subscribe, follow on Twitter, say what's up, bring up the dialogue, bring out the conversation. Let's get it started. All right, thanks, guys.